Did you just press the start button?
Yeah, it's recording.
Can you give me just a second to get ready?
Well, I can cut that part out.
Can you give me a second? Stop it for a second.
Okay.
Micro remote. What's this?
3D.
Okay, remind me about 3D. Micro remote, Redrock micro remote, highly anticipated product, 3 years in the making. It is actually a focus control system. So I'm going to explain all the different options and how it gets super cool at the end. It starts with our micro remote base station. You connect this to a motor, you can configure your lens either through manual or automatic lens calibration. Okay, you can see the actual version here. It's connected to a motor. We have Redrock torque motors, which we're not showing today, but it's also compatible with the M1 motors from Palomar. We also have the microtape, it's a sonar-based rangefinder. It allows you to actually point at something, and you can see, as I move it back and forth, it'll actually tell me the distance to my subject. Okay, more on that in a second. Less than 500 bucks, by the way, Sean, just for you.
Nice.
Now, I mentioned it's a system. So, you can start with a focus controller. Wired, got a nice little controller here. Plug it into this. Now I've got my nice little ENG controller. Okay? I can have a second system, motor, base station controller. I can do focus and zoom. Okay? Don't need a remote, don't need any super fancy stuff. Glad you're keeping attention to all the things I'm talking about. Now, this is the wired sort of ENG style. Almost everybody's interested in the wireless remote. Okay, so you can see it's got a integrated radio on here. This has got a radio. It's going to work 300 feet range. If you want, you can also attach it to a cable, and it will have a tethered operation. This is a really nice ergonomic setup. Nate, tell me, how does that feel?
It feels awesome.
You didn't even move it yet.
You didn't even move it yet. That's great.
You're no good. Give me that back. Okay. Camera start and stop. You can reverse the direction. When you calibrate them, all lenses, including still lenses, are going to have 270 degrees of rotation. Okay? So you have that accuracy that you normally don't get on the still lenses. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Open remote. This part pushes down. Insert iPhone or iPod Touch. Okay? Now, I realize everyone can't see this, but as I move this, this is calibrated to a specific lens. And as I move it, you can see that my numerical readout of where I'm focused at is changing, and my lens calibration is moving to tell me where I am in the lens barrel. This top triangle tells me where I'm currently focused at, which is the same as the numerical readout. This red triangle tells me where this microtape is pointing at on the subject, how far that distance is. This blue arc tells me that given the focal length and the aperture that I have of this lens, what my available depth of field is that will be acceptable critical focus. So I can have a 3-point confirmation of focus where it's going to tell me where I'm focused and how far that is, what my rangefinder says my subject is, and what's going to be in focus given my aperture and my focal length. Okay? Now, if I'm really lazy, I can push this button called autofocus. It will allow the rangefinder to take over control of the motors, so whatever you're pointing at, it's going to be essentially autofocus for motion. Those features aren't available at any remote follow focus at any price. Lens calibration, store and recall them into lens bags. There's a community database. So I'm going to do this for you too here shortly. Lens database you can actually upload and download, so if people are pre-defining sets of lenses, you can actually download them and have those ready to go almost instantly. Summer availability. We are taking reservations right now. Non-binding, no deposit. You must send an email to remote@redrockmicro.com. If you are interested, I would encourage you to do it soon, because that list is going to be very long, very quickly. Remote@redrockmicro.com.
Does it charge the phone?
It does charge the phone if you have it plugged in.
Plugged in? To the wall?
Well, you can plug it into a D-tap. This happens just to be, I should pull this off. It's kind of, plug it into a wall, plug it in a D-tap, it runs it from that, and it will actually charge the phone while it's running.
What's the price tag?
Price. A basic system that is the wired base station, motor, about $1,000. Okay, we said 500 originally. The trade-offs we had to make for the motor were not something we found to be acceptable. So 1,000-ish for the basic system. A complete setup is probably gonna be less than the price of a bar tank. So this is eminently affordable. So not only do we have a follow focus, a remote follow focus, that we think is really groundbreaking in the features that it has at any price point, we're making it ultimately affordable for everybody. So we really think this is going to change the game in terms of focus management, one of the biggest issues in a lot of these systems today.
Sure. Thank you so much, Brian. I'll see you around.
My pleasure.
Thank you.